Graders, welcome. We are talking to Mr. Ron Pascal, and he wrote this book and others, but this book is called The Hummingbird Wars. And we're just going to ask some questions about how he became an author and also help you guys think about how you want to work on your own goals. So, our first question is, what inspired you to want to write a book?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for allowing me to speak in front of your class.
Of course.
And it's a big privilege for me. This was my first try as an author, and it actually came during the time of COVID. So my wife and I were stuck in the house for 31 days on the couch. I was in the emergency room twice, and so we were very bored. Sitting on the couch for 31 days, just watching TV, not going anywhere. And so I bought a hummingbird feeder online, and we set that up in the backyard. And as we sat outside in the sun watching these hummingbirds, they were so territorial. I didn't say that right.
Territorial, yeah.
Territorial, and they would fight over the feeder. And it inspired me to do something besides sitting there and watching TV. So one morning I just got up and I started writing this book, and it just flowed out of me. I wrote this book in 3 weeks.
Wow.
And I was up at, my wife said I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes, just hammering away because it just flowed out of me. And it was so much fun, because when you're an author and you're writing a book, you can make it anything you want. You can make up anything you want. So in my book, if you have happy enough to read my book, you will find that we've got a hero, we've got a romance, we've got a villain, and at the end I don't want to spoil the ending.
No.
But at the end, you're gonna love the ending.
All right. So I like that, because boredom can be a really good motivator sometimes. It's okay to be a little bit bored. Good things can come out of it. So you kind of explained how hummingbirds became the stars of your book. And then did you have to observe them for a while to see how the other characters would come about?
I have to say that there was one hummingbird, and I named him Hubert, and I kept him in the book as Hubert. And our dog Max is in the book, and whenever the hummingbirds would come around, he'd be barking and trying to chase them off. But I don't know. I was inspired, and I tried to keep them as close to my vest in the book as I saw them in real life, and how they fought over and fought over the feeder. But the males would allow the females to come in and share the feeder with them. But other males, that wasn't happening.
Yeah, we've been talking about observation in our first unit of science. So it's good to know that we can use our observations to do other things, creative things with them. Who is the audience for your book?
Well, I like to think that it's everybody. I mean, originally I had it geared toward young adults. But all of my friends that have read it, I've got nothing but 5-star reviews on it, and I had it reviewed by a major book publisher, and they gave me 5-star reviews. So I hope that everybody enjoys it.
Awesome. What challenges did you have to overcome to write and publish your own book?
Okay, that's a very good question. See, having never written a book before, and not really being that well versed with the English language, I took advantage of Microsoft Word, and it's very useful in giving you and correcting your grammar. I also used Google to look for words that were synonymous with other words, so that I didn't use the same way to describe something. If it was pretty, I'd look up something and it would be attractive, or something that would make it sound better. And then I turned it over to a publisher, and they did editing on it, and they helped me with some ideas.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of the posters that we have in our rooms that we can choose different words, better words, and we refine our writing by doing that. Was goal setting important during your process?
Absolutely. I tried to, as I was writing, I would get tired, but I tried to finish a chapter before I quit writing. I wanted to maintain the thought and keep the work going at least until I finished the chapters, so that I didn't have a hard time starting up again the next day.
How do you feel seeing your book in print?
I have to be honest, I'm surprised. I think everyone that knows me was surprised that this happened. But I'm proud. I'm very proud, and it feels very good to be published. And now I've published my second book, so I feel great.
Awesome. What are your big dreams for your book and the series?
Okay, so I have one more book in this series. The first book, Hummingbird Wars, tells about Hubert and his struggle against the bald eagle dynamite. But the second book, the time traveling hummingbirds, tells this is a prequel sequel. It tells how Hubert attained the ability to call other hummingbirds to help him fight against the eagles. It also tells that these birds, this hummingbirds came from another planet from years in the past, and they traveled to Earth, and that's the second book, the Hummingbird Wars. So it's a prequel, and then it's a sequel. The second half of the book is a sequel that takes up where this book ends and explains where we go.
Right. And then what would you say to a kid who has their own big dreams?
I would say follow your dreams. If you put your mind to it, don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. If it's something that you love and you want to do, you've got to follow your dreams. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be handed to you. You've got to work at it. But believe me, when you accomplish your goal, it's priceless.
Well, thank you very much for talking with the kids today. I'm sure they're going to be inspired and following their own dreams. And we thank you, and good luck with the series and the book.
Oh, I did leave one thing.
Oh, yeah?
I want it to become a Disney movie, so tell all your parents.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.